You are watching the Pittsburgh Penguin Fan Show on Fan Media Network. I'm Joe Bartnick, a Pittsburgh Penguin fan. Joining me now, Pittsburgh Penguin fan, my good friend, Puck Off co-host, the great Andy Picaro. What's up, Andy?
Well, it's over. That's it.
Yeah,
there's no more.
The fat lady has sung on Long Island. I always say when you lose past single overtime, when it goes into double overtime or more, it feels like you lose two games. We basically did because we lost game 6 in game 5. What stinks is Carter scores, we're up. And then Jake scores out of the blue, we're up. And Jarry just absolutely stunk. But we'll do the negatives in a second. Anyway, your one quick thought, and then we'll get into the positives and negatives.
Yeah, I think that it's arguable 2012 was the worst first round appearance they ever had. And it's arguable that this year was the worst. And you could then maybe argue the play-in last year. And then you could maybe even argue the year before. So they've had 3 of maybe their worst playoff exits ever the last 3 years. I don't know if I see Coach Mike coming back.
I think not. I think keeping the streak alive, but in some circles not losing to the 24th ranked team. But it was in a bubble. That was probably the second worst. That debacle in Philadelphia, it will always be the worst to me. I know the Islanders have inflicted more pain on my family than the other franchise, but I don't know.
I think this might have been worse. I think this might have been worse because they outplayed them that bad. They outplayed. They outplayed the Penguins.
They did, but I find it easier to stomach saying our goaltender absolutely sucks than I do thinking that Claude Giroux got the best of anybody.
Maybe. I just think that. I don't know. I think this is the worst. I think it's the worst.
No one's saying you're wrong on this show. My 3 positives, and I'll make them quick. Second line, Gino once again stood tall. Bad knee. He crushed Martin. He took a cross check as payback. Didn't retaliate. I thought he had some jump for playing on one leg. Kapanen, the save of the game was Zajac coming off the press box. He made the save on Kapanen, and Zucker scored. Zucker actually played okay, so they were good. The third line pairing of Marino, other than that high stick, but they weren't going to win anyway. And Pettersson's really looked good this series, shocking me. So I like that third line pairing. Of course, Ceci played great. Matheson is in, but I love Ceci. And Jeff Carter. What more can you say about Jeff Carter? Jeff Carter's probably the best Penguin this series. Your positives, 2, 3, 5. You can't have
one is Ron Hextall and Brian Burke. They haven't really done anything wrong. Everything that has gone right, they've helped go in that direction. The change really helped the team, and I think that if I love Rutherford, I think if he was still there, they might not be in the playoffs, let alone win the division, and they definitely don't have the Jeff Carter. So that's a big plus. Is the management is really good. The second plus that I have is one that you had, and I didn't think you'd have it, but I thought Zucker showed a bunch of guts. He probably broke his foot, came back and played on it. He was screaming at the bench, screaming at the team, like in a positive way. Like I thought he showed guts, and that might have been his last game as a Penguin. Very well could be. But I thought for as much as he had guts in that last game. He was playing until it was over, and I loved that. And then we also doubled up on Gino. I thought that Gino may have also felt like it could be his last game as a Penguin, and he was playing like it. He played hard. He played really hard.
Absolutely. All right, my 5. I have 4 negatives. I could have 30, but I have 4. Jarry, enough said. That was the worst Sidney Crosby game that Mike Sullivan has coached. He never played that bad for Therrien. He never played that bad for Disco. You have to think back to Johnston and a meaningless game, against Columbus when you ever saw Sid play as bad as he did last night. I've never seen Sid play that bad. I'm not saying Sid didn't try. So that really is the worst game because I think sometimes under Mike Johnson, he didn't really care. So he was terrible. He was terrible. He hit pipes, he missed nets, and he missed back checks. So that was terrible. Sully, we can talk about this more in weeks to come. Trotz always outcoaches him, but last night, I would have gone with Legacy. I believe in one of the games, even before Game 5, I just thought Jari was terrible, and I saw Legacy pitch a donut. So then he didn't mess up the lines until the very end. I just thought I didn't think it was a very good performance. I thought it was a very Dan Blausma-esque glazed donut face performance, and that is an insult when I compare you to Dan Blausma in anything other than cartwheels naked in a locker room. And my fourth negative, which kind of is a positive in a way, is clears the deck for the bottom six. Everyone that we love, and oh my God, they can't play. Because other than Tanev, they can all go. We love Sweaty Teddy. That guy's been playing good this year, blah, 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 blah. No. Carter should probably play with Sid or Gino next year or play second line center if Gino's gone, and then Tanev. And the rest can go as far as this series and that last night proved none of them are worth a damn. So new management's coming in, new coach possibly coming in. The deck is clean for free agencies, for rookies, for Zahorna, for Godfather, for anyone to step up and play better than what they did. All right, your negatives.
I think that my big negatives are three names: Sullivan, Gensel, Rust. I think that Sid had a bad game. He really didn't have much in 6 games working with him. Jake scored a goal the other night, and Rust showed flashes here and there. That first line stunk. And then if I'm going to have my negatives be how Gensel and Rust overall, and again, Gensel scored, so it's weird for me to – but I've been down on him all series. I think he's been way more drawn into the physical crap. I think he got way more thrown off his game than almost anybody. And Rust just wasn't his normal playoff self. And maybe it's wrong to put that much weight on him, but it's on you, man. You won 2 cups. You scored a lot of goals. You got to play better with one of the best players in the world. And that's on Sully. I think it's all on Sully at the end of the day. Not to cut you off. And Jari, I'm not even mentioning. Forget Jari. Forget he exists. We'll never talk about him again anyway. So who cares? He's done in our world. But Sullivan didn't change the lines, didn't call a timeout when they clearly needed one after that third goal, didn't ever pull his goalie, let him just take it. At no point did he even suggest Legacy was going to take this job. So Tristan Jari, who acts like he's 18, just had free reign. Sullivan, to me, has lost this team, and I am now in favor of firing him. I do think they should fire him. I don't think he should be back. And I think Sid's effort and sort of overall their playoffs past 2 years show that he shouldn't be back.
I tend to agree with that, and then I'll enjoy his video tribute. I love Sully. To me, he's the best coach we ever had. If excluding Badger Bob, which is kind of like the best rock band next to the Beatles because you can't crap on the Beatles. Badger Bob was the Beatles, so I can't. But Sully did a great job. I think his time has come. I believe that as well. But we'll get more into that too, in the upcoming weeks. I'm maybe Rust having his wife pregnant and having that kid. He got no sleep. Rusty was a step behind everywhere. Every time you think Rust is going to get to a puck, he was always a step behind. I don't think his effort wasn't there. I just think he was a step slow. I don't know what to make of Jake. I think he's a good trade piece, and if that means Carter plays with Sid next year, I think that's fine. And just go get 2 third-line centers. I think this bottom 6 was fool's gold in the regular season. I don't think they're anywhere near good enough to make a playoff run. And we said that last year we're going to remake the bottom 6, and we kind of did, but they kind of didn't. I just don't think they're good enough. Because the top 6, pretty good. I'm still a Rusty guy. Sid, obviously. Take Gino. Kapanen played great. I think he didn't score enough.
Why don't you give him some shifts with Sid? I didn't get that because Gino's going. Gino didn't need Cap. Gino's going. You could play Gino with anybody. Me and you could have been Gino's wingers, and Gino's going to get opportunities, right? Because Gino was just a horse the past couple games. Yeah. Why not have Cap go up there and have his puck luck and his just ability to be around big moments next to Sid for a second. It was driving me nuts. Sullivan did not change anything. He didn't adjust. And Trotz was pulling all these strings, and Sullivan's just watching the game.
He looked like Baalsma. He looked even worse. He looked like Johnson Sander. But I'll tell you, he did put Carter up there. It was too little too late. It was too little too late.
With like 8 minutes left in the third or something like that. It was way too – I remember when he did it thinking, oh, Joe had said that, but it was over.
Yeah. So it is, it is what it is. I don't know. When you look at who's left, when you look at their goaltending, we weren't going to go very – I mean, if we thought that Anthony Beauvillier looked like Mike Bossy, you don't think Stamkos and Point and Kucherov were going to light him up. It was fool's gold that we won our division and we had high hopes. We loved it, but you know what? It does need most of a teardown. The problem is that Gino is easily one of the better players. And so is Letang. I like the crap on Letang. Letang had a pretty good year once he got scared to get traded.
I didn't write it down. I wish I did. But the thing is they outshot them by like 70 in the games that they won, and they outshot them by like 60 in the games they lost. There's no like overall in the series. Like they outshot them so bad 2-1 at moments. To lose this series was just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
It is. And in one final thing, first I would say the LinkedIn fan special. Fans, connect with me on LinkedIn. You'll see this show in your feed and leave comments and questions, and we'll get to because we'll have all summer to get to your comments and questions. But one final thing is that may help Christopher Letang is if Sully's gone, because maybe he won't pinch because you're up 1-0 on the road into Game 6. You have to pinch instantly. Could Jari at least be allowed to make an easy kind of floater save? He probably wouldn't make it anyway. Did you have to make a bad pinch right there? But we'll be back Sunday or Monday with kind of a what's next, maybe a positive review. And then we'll be doing summer programming like we do on Puck Off. You're still a hockey fan. Listen to me and Andy and Fraser Smith on Puck Off. Any last thoughts on this experience here? This Game 6?
Let's go Colorado and Tampa Bay. That's what I want to see. And so I'm just rooting for those two teams for no other reason than I want to see them play. That's all.
That's a great note. And another great note is because this is the Pittsburgh Penguins fan network. Remember, the Flyers aren't going to win the Cup, so wasn't that bad of a year.
Or the Caps.
That's Andy Picaro. I'm Joe Bartnick. That's our show.
To host a fan show or appear as a fan on a fan show, simply create a profile on Fan Media's iOS app or website. Select your teams and make a short intro video on your phone. Show hosts, reporters, former players, and superfans can use our Get Verified feature and make an intro video as well, and our mobile newsroom staff will reach out.